both known for this deck now. I don't know who to give more credit to at this point, but maybe we'll find out who the real champion of the Absol box is.
Again, these players are so accomplished. I keep saying this over and over again. Ryuki Okada has been playing this game for upwards of 15 plus years. Really didn't travel outside of Japan up until recently when these events became more accessible to players from outside of TPCI. And what an absolutely accomplished final last 2 seasons he's had. He's an EUIC champion, won a regional last year, he's won a regional this year already. So he's already locked up for a World Championship invite. Tord on the other end, he's done it all.
Yeah, it just never ceases to amaze as we look through the accomplishments. You just can't list them all here, but he has those 5 international championship wins, and he just continues to build on that. We know that the goal for him is the World Championship, but he gets pretty close, and he shows off that he's in the prime form in all these regional events.
Both players consulting each other before the event, sharing lists. Got to talk to Tord a little bit, and he showcased how Ryuki did make some changes after receiving the deck list over, so maybe a little bit of insider information here. And I wonder how one big difference card can make the difference. To start with, Ryuki is playing that enhanced hammer. That can make a big difference maker in this matchup.
Yeah, we've seen this inclusion in some of the other lists. Tord, he chose to forego it now a few times at this point. But in this matchup, when you see that mist energy and you know what Absol is capable of with the terminal period, you do not want to be on the receiving end.
Not at all. And this matchup will be really interesting to see as a mirror how these players decide to navigate the damage on each other. Are they only going to be using bosses' orders the turns that they attack? Will they try and just flood the board worth of damage, stall and trap things and force Penny or Petrarunt to come into play? Lots of different dynamics. Both players with the intricacies and ability they have will put on an absolute show for us this weekend.
Yeah, the prize map can also be really interesting in this matchup. You have to take some of those single prizes. Do you just go after the Petrarunts, the Latiases, or do you take out all 3 prize cards in those Mega Pokemon? It can always be a real pleasure to watch these guys navigate.
So we'll see who's going second. Of course, always a big advantage. This Mega Kangaskhan and Mega Absol deck. Can we just call it Mega Box? Is that an approved term for this deck? Again, it's a little bit of a mouthful.
I'll allow it. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we have Terra Box. Let's go Mega Box.
I like it. Box, different options, seems good.
Oh,
and cool.
What option does that leave you?
And cool. One person cannot get their Pokemon into play, and one person cannot get their energies into play. Kyle, which is worse?
Yeah, I'd like going shopping. The shopping's pretty nice, but you also want to listen to music, so this is a real toss-up.
These are not music discs. You cannot tell me these are music discs, Kyle. We're not going to let that slide. Well,
I don't know what to tell you, pal.
There's nothing to say. Absolutely devastating, though, for both players, and you can see they are ready to go. Ryuki just wants to get things started, and why shouldn't we have to wait anymore? Let's get into this top 4. What a treat we have, and what a match this will be. Tord going first.
Mirror match.
This is the absolute opposite. You have every way to search your energy prized to accelerate it, and you just have all the energy in your hand. This hand is just Quarterstone and 3 Darkness energy. It doesn't even matter if Tord has Arven energy energizes when there's no Arven to find anything on the following turn.
This theme deck looks great from Tord. Huh?
How much can I purchase this for?
Well, it depends. We'll see if it increases in value here, but he might be in trouble as we see the Arven turn 1, but we also know something you don't know. There is a pink card sitting in the prize cards there for Ryuki.
So the question now will be, does Ryuki have an energy card in hand or a nest ball in hand? If either of those pieces are there, can still see that Turbo Energize fired off. You just can't search out both, right? You can grab either the Earthen Vessel off of the Arven, or you can grab the nest ball. The Precious Trolley is gone. So the choice is here, Kyle. If you can only power up 1 Pokemon in this spot, assuming there's only 1 way to search, you get 1 Pokemon to choose. Is it always just Absol, or is there another route where you can maybe mix things up in this matchup?
Well, I feel like you always want to lean on the Mega Absol for that disruption that you have against your opponent, but sometimes you go for the Kangaskhan and you just want to see more draws. Set up a impenetrable board on the other side and have your Monkey Dories be ready for anything that can come your way, because your opponent's fairly limited when it comes to their attack power. If they have to attack in and leave damage counters on board, you're lined up for that Mega Absol later in the game.
You see that Nest Ball pipped up on the top of the deck. It looks like just considering if that will be the choice. Turbo Energize, the easy selection, assuming it's not in the hand as the tool card. So we know what Tord is sitting on. I'm very curious to see what Ryuki has to his disposal. And whether or not this Dark Energy will go on Monkey Dory, or if something like Latias can come into play, if there's a better place to attach this, since both players will actively be trying to avoid putting damage into play, since it can just kind of bounce back and forth depending on what their board looks like.
Looks like Ryuki already has the Turbo Energize in hand along with an energy card and goes for the second one.
Yeah.
But that's never a bad play because you could honestly just have 6 energy in play in the first 2 turns and watch Tord set up energy pass over and over again.
So it will be the Absol as the choice. And we are going right back in. So opens with the energy means Nest Ball. Energize is a combination to get things kicked off and rolling. Has another Monkey Dory as well. And I'm interested to see if we're going to see these energies get split or all committed to this Absol.
Well, if you listened to him a few weeks ago, it would always go on the Monkey Dory, but I think things have changed. Ryuki has learned the ways of the Mega Absol and is leaning into the aggression here. This is something we did not see as many players that listened to Tord on his initial speakings of this deck. It was all about charging up the Monkey Dory, slowing things down. Now you have this chance. Get in, get aggressive, rip their hand apart.
And no rip off the top of the deck for Tord, is just sitting on a Monkey Dory, Cornerstone, and 3 Darkness Energy. What do you do in this spot? You're going to 100% telegraph your hand is weak. It's just going to be the attachment to the Absol and a pass of the turn over, and a big door opened here for Ryuki. If you can find the boss's orders, this would be an excellent situation to just go in and target that Absol down, set up for the 2-hit KO, and put pressure on before your opponent, but I'm not sure that resource is there.
I mean, there's a few things that you worry about in spots like this, and it's typically your opponent holding onto a card like Pheasantipity, but you have Mega Absol. If you attack into this Monkey Dory, take the prize card here now, you might just get the information that, yeah, this hand is actually as bad as you think it is.
And you know, Ryuki has Iono in hand, but really just does not want to play it in this spot. Is just considering picking up this Pokemon, refusing to retreat the energy off. We're going to see the Claw of Darkness strike first into the Monkey Dory. Understands that Tord hand is weak, but there's not a great choice.
It's as bad as you thought it was.
It's bad, and even worse, you can only discard one of these cards, so you leave Tord with a Darkness Energy to attack in response and start stripping your resources away, plus gets the first hit into the other Mega Absol. This aggression here from Ryuki, I have to kind of wonder if the payoff will be there.
I mean, there's still a world where he finds the perfect answer. If you find Enhanced Hammer and Energy Switch and Energy, the Monkey Dory combo to take out the other Mega Absol with Terminal Period is live. What did he find? It was Iono to go along with this.
I mean, it's going to help out Ryuki as well is the biggest thing, since Ryuki's also not sitting on much. So
yeah,
both players getting a fresh breath of life here.
I mean, Arvin, along with Energy and maybe one other card, could get the job done for Ryuki. He could see the perfect answer here to answer the Mega Absol that Tord does not have access to.
Ryuki, you got to count your cards for me, please, before you draw. I do not want to see another heartbreak in terms of Iono draws. And you said that is all fine and well, but how likely is that in this spot when you're about to get one of these cards discarded from your hand? It seems pretty unlikely. You need energy switch.
Pretty severely unlikely.
Okay.
Give me something to dream about.
No dreams here, just nightmares. We are not in a peaceful zone with Mega Absol around. I would not be able to sleep well if it was perched up like Tord's art version was.
Yes. Yeah, this is a dangerous place to be, and this first attack really does speak volumes. As well, this hand is actually pretty Absol-proof.
3 supporter cards, the Mist Energy. It's not great right now, but who knows if that card will be useful down the line. As it stands right now, if Ryuki doesn't top deck here, the Arvin really isn't having too much value. It doesn't change a whole lot. Those Lilies are a lot worse in terms of value, since you're only going to shuffle and draw 6. So it will be the Pheasantipity instead. Very interesting choice there.
Yeah, I think at this point you just go after the value. Oh, that is an Energy Switch. He's actually kind of close.
Yeah, the enhanced hammer is missing is the problem.
Yeah.
If there was a dark energy in hand, that would be it.
I mean, he could absolutely go fishing for it at this point. He has the lilies to draw or shuffle draw 6 here.
And we can honestly use the energy switch right now and just take the dark energy off of this active.
Yeah.
We would just need to find dark energy in our 1 copy of enhanced hammer, but if we high roll and hit it, I mean, what really is the downside?
I'm Blood Moon Ursaluna waiting for you, but other than that, this is great.
Well, the Blood Moon Ursaluna, it's not going to even be able to attack, right? You'd go down. Oh, you would. That Mega Absol just seems so powerful until you remember it's a 3-prize Pokemon,
Yes.
and then you still remember it's powerful.
Half the game falls apart.
Yeah.
All right, well, not into the super risk. Wants to hold on to the energy switch. We'll see if the rest of the cards would have played out here for him, but if you're Ryuki, just an energy attachment onto any other of your Mega Pokemon probably feels like a win here.
Sort of in a sense, but honestly, Kyle, how are you attacking the turn after here if this Mega Absol goes down?
Finding energies will be the tricky spot here, and with the Fez discarded, it makes it even more difficult.
So we will see the 6 cards from the Lily's Determination.
Energy switch, Earthen Vessel, oh man, in the Night Stretcher.
What?
Is there an energy in the discard pile?
Oh my goodness. Is there Earthen Vessel potentially? No, and you see
he's just
Ryuki
one off. He actually was just there.
We'll see the enhanced hammer. I
There's
don't
no-
think there's an energy though.
There's no additional way to see draw here. There's no Petrarunt Kangaskhan. Oh, he was so close.
Still gonna just go ahead and get rid of the mist energy.
Wait, no, there almost is Petrarunt Kangaskhan. He's got Petrarunt in the discard pile with Night Stretcher. He just doesn't have a dark Pokemon to flex back into the active.
Yeah, can't retreat. The Absol does have a 2 retreat cost. You would need something like, you could do it with the Latias as well, but it's just too many pieces to ask for off the 6-card hand.
Right.
So what do you choose to do? It will be the Latias, so could potentially see Ryuki decide to just take the turn off, go into the Monkey Dory, and hope to, down the line, use that terminal period to take a KO while not giving up the 3 prize cards in return. But we are going to see the Night Stretcher get played, so here comes Fezandipity. Bravery Charm down, wants to potentially protect that. It's no good on the Latias since it is weak to Dark-type Pokemon. And instead, we're just going to see a swing here. Finds Boss's orders and just a bunch of energy in the hand, but that's really not great because the mediocrity is honestly okay here for Tord since his main objective is to just swing and remove this Absol out of play.
He justified using the Mega Absol because the answer was going to be right there in the hand. Unfortunately, you get the bad news either way, that you're going to be knocked out next turn. There's an energy for the Blood Moon Ursaluna, and you're probably not even handling the boss's orders, which probably needs to be taken out of the hand.
It will be the boss's orders.
You have to. You're walking right into Blood Moon if the Mega Absol's ever handled on the other side.
So action back on Tord. Losing that mist energy does mean he technically can fall an energy behind in this spot. Earthen Vessel will be used, discarding the Psyduck. We'll search the deck and see what is available. Now, there are no energy in the prize cards as it stands for Tord, so it's not something necessarily to be concerned about in terms of resources. 6 dark energy total, so we'll have a couple to grab off the Earthen Vessel, but after that, we're starting to run a little bit low on these resources, always something to keep track of.
Yeah, one difference in the lists that we see here is the additional fighting energy on Tord's side. So he's got the full 10 count, and Ryuki with just the 9 and that one single fighting that we see attached to the Mega Absol.
So we'll probably see that fighting come down onto Absol. It's better than using another of those dark energies since the Cornerstone doesn't get a lot of impact in this matchup.
Yep, you always want to leave that dark energy for energy switching purposes too. Maybe Monkey Dory plus Blood Moon Ursaluna math sometimes gets you where you need to be.
Interesting here, Tord did top deck Mega Kangaskhan for the turn, and I do have to also wonder, is this a spot where you place that Mega Kangaskhan down onto the bench? Do you want to have that as a potential draw next turn? There's no Latias down, so you would probably be banking off of your prize cards for some assistance in making that happen. It is going to hit the field, so thinking ahead about how that could help provide a little bit of draw power.
Has to surrender over the hand, and I mean, they're all fairly solid resources at this point of the game. The problem is Ryuki has no energy in play. he had to sacrifice these prize cards over to the other side with Tord now, and not even a Blood Moon Ursaluna is lined up. This will be a slow approach, and he's just going to see his hand picked apart even more from here.
Ryuki's in the tank right now. He looks like he is going through it. There's an energy switch. Potentially looking to see what the other cards are. Boss's orders gone, prize cards taken. And we are really relying off this flip the script if we want to do anything in this spot.
And rightfully so. There should be some more wiggle room for Ryuki at this point in the game, but energy cards onto Mega Pokemon has to start happening pretty soon here. He keeps just finding one piece of the puzzle. He's got an Arven this time.
Yeah, but what do you attack with here? There's no attacking option. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, you're just waiting until you can set up your own Pokemon to combat this Mega Absol. Unfortunately, it takes 2 turns no matter what you do.
And the question is, can you wait when Tord is essentially guaranteed to take a prize card next turn? If he has a Darkness Energy, that means no matter what is promoted, it can just be KO'd by a Claw of Darkness. Looks like Pokégear, the item being used right now, so scouring those top 7 cards, seeing if there's a supporter that can help him out. The Iono does definitely benefit Ryuki pretty solidly in this spot. However, there's no Mega Kangaskhan down at this point. No other way to draw cards. Pheasantippedy's already been used, so what are you realistically expecting to find off of this to propel yourself into a more powerful turn following this?
I mean, it's so dangerous to play a Mega even at this point. It's just a Dark Energy and a Monkey Dory, energy switching, and Tord would be able to close this thing out with Terminal Period into that 3 prize Pokemon. So instead, you have to focus on promoting a single prize Pokemon here and redirecting all of your attention to Blood Moon Ursaluna. This Pokemon could take the knockout on the Mega Absol, get you down to 2 prize cards remaining, and maybe some Pecharunt, Latias, Boss's Orders plays can get you over that final straw and take those prizes.
So energy is found here for Ryuki. This Blood Moon Ursaluna does hit the bench.
And this makes sense if you think that Tord would ever pass over on a turn. If you're just waiting for him to take 1 prize, you have to get that energy attached to the Blood Moon now.
Which is the case. Blood Moon slowly getting powered up. That seasoned skill ability means it just needs 1 more energy card attached for now and is actually just going to pass with this Latias EX active. So Tord, if he wants to, can go down to just a single prize card remaining. And there are a pair of Pokégear in the hand. For some sort of assistance in this spot, not much else going on.
Yeah, the shuffle might be the most important part of this Pokégear because every energy that he had was shuffled, placed on the bottom of his deck.
That Earthen Vessel, yeah. I mean, I have to wonder, you know, is there that last Earthen Vessel available? Looks like there are 2, and there's only been 1 played so far, so it could be a great target off of Arven to reestablish some energy in play.
Yeah, if you could find that, that'd be nice help. It's funny that he's had access to energies the entire game, and yet that's the only thing I really think he's considering at this point. There's not much else that you need to focus on. You have the Mega Absol taking apart the hand. Ryuki has to play down all of his resources so they're not discarded. So he's telegraphing every play from here on out, and that just means you just need bosses and energies if you want to keep this thing moving.
Is considering just ignoring this Latias and going after the Blood Moon Ursaluna, is going to just grab the boss's orders from Pokégear and now decides to play Nest Ball. So potentially having that information of boss's orders impacting him to do what many would consider kind of a missed sequence, right? You want to sometimes grab those basic Pokemon out of the deck. However, that could change depending on some cards you find. So Tord obviously doing everything with a purpose. He's really looking for a specific combination here.
I think this is intentional. You use the Pokegear knowing 4 energy are on the bottom of your deck. Then you have a better chance of finding that ideal supporter. And now you use the Nest Ball, find that Pokemon, shuffle up, and if you do get to draw, perhaps with a Pokemon like Kangaskhan, if you can work that into the mix, you have a chance at seeing some more of those energies.
Pheasantipede does come down into play. Now, no knockout was taken last turn, so can't use Flip the Script. Just a little bit of protective measure, it seems. So here we go, Pokegear number 2. So Boss's Orders, Arven, neither of those supporters that Tord would like in this spot. We'll see if something else does come up. And it is going to be an Arven, so does decide to take Boss off the first, Arven off the second, and we'll see if that Earthen Vessel is just the choice in the spot.
Yeah, that seems like an ideal call here. Just attach that energy to the Blood Moon Ursaluna, thin out one more resource. You can get those energies into the hand, take the knockout on this Latias, take one more card out of Ryuki's hand, and you're holding energy Boss's Orders with Blood Moon to try to close this thing out if Ryuki ever were to take this knockout.
The one piece that is so far missing right now, there's no Latias or Pecharunt down on Tord's side, so there are some weird things Ryuki can do by bringing up a certain Pokemon like the Blood Moon on the bench and swinging into it to try and buy time. All things that these top-level players are going to be thinking about. You just kind of open up so much for your opponent if you knock out this Absol, since the Kangaskhan could come up, Pheasantipede can be used, the Latias can, there's just so many things that kind of open up a can of worms. So Tord's playing everything out, thinning from the hand. We know he has that Boss's Orders, it's public knowledge, and Ryuki is sitting on absolutely nothing in this spot. Just 2 Pokemon will have to rely off this Flip the Script. As the Night Stretcher goes down, Blood Moon Ursaluna comes up. At minimum, this knockout is guaranteed, but Ryuki's going to want to find some way to disrupt because that Boss's Orders glowing in the hand here for Tord.
Absolutely telegraphed, and it had to be at this point for Tord, and the answer was right there in front of Ryuki. He's going to scoop things up. He knows that if he wants to win this, it's going to be in the next 2 games as Tord is up 1-0.
You could see how impactful it was to be the first person to swing into a Mega Absol, threatening that 2-hit KO, using that Claw of Darkness, and putting on that pressure in terms of the prize race. A lot of intricate things to think about through that match.
I mean, the plays were all there. If he wanted to go for it all, he was just a dark energy away from having the answer to that Mega Absol. But
do you ever, if you are in that spot, if you had a time machine and can go back, are you just ripping it there?
I didn't see much of a reason not to. You're going to be in trouble if you don't take this Pokemon off the board. But we'll see what it looked like for everyone at home as we jump into the replay. It was a Mega Absol party from the get-go.
Both players kind of having to traverse their early turns a bit awkwardly. That Turbo Energize was in the prize cards for Tord, 2 copies of that, and then Ryuki had the turn 1 Arven, but lacking that Precious Trolley, had to sort of re-navigate his board. It seemed like things were in his control, but once this Absol was just able to stay up for too long, things just got out of hand.
Yeah, just not much else that Ryuki was accomplishing there. When we saw that early Enhanced Hammer play from Tord, it was on there on the very first turn. Maybe if there was a play from Ryuki to just Enhanced Hammer earlier, you could avoid the Mega Absol even getting that first attack off, avoid Tord getting into your hand and making that disruption, and especially getting that 200 damage down.
So Ryuki will have the opportunity to go second again. Big advantage in this matchup. First person to use Turbo Energize. You can threaten Boss on turn number 2. So we'll see the setup for both players. Looks like basic Pokemon here for Ryuki as Tord traverses through the hand. Anything of note you see here, Kyle?
And it looks like Tord has the ideal starter in Munkidori along with Energy. For Ryuki, the choice was Blood Moon Ursaluna or Pheasantipede, I think. So not his favorite, but look like both players have a little play in this hand. Should be a good one here in game number 2 of our top 4.
Good luck. I agree, Mr. Ryuki. Let's get into things here. Pheasantipede to start. Tord Reklev going first. There's that Mega Absol, as well as the energy attachment. Really all you can ask for in this spot. Follow-up supporter.
We've seen this before.
I've played these games before, Kyle. That Latias EX is in the prize cards for Ryuki, as well as the Enhanced Hammer, and for Tord, having 2 of those Boss's Orders prized can definitely be a big deal.
Yeah, counter catcher double boss. That's just pretty limiting. If your opponent just continues to put the wrong Pokemon in the active spot, they can slow things down tremendously. Ryuki, we'll see what his plan looks like. These prize cards aren't terrible. The one enhanced hammer copy is pretty unfortunate. We know how that can play a role in this matchup, but he's got the Nest Ball. He's got at least one way to move this Pokemon if he includes Pecharunt. We'll see what else can be added.
You know, the Latias being prized is awkward since it makes it so Precious Trolley won't allow you to use that Turbo Energize with the Kangaskhan since you can't switch out of the active spot. And you definitely would rather put your energy card onto something that's not the Pheasantipede since it's really not going to get any value.
I mean, you could. You just have to include the Evital in your setup, which is
rather essentially, right?
It isn't great, but yeah, you can get there.
So still taking the opportunity to make sure he understands what is available in the deck. We haven't seen if a supporter card get played yet, and we'll see how Ryuki, knowing that Latias is unavailable, maybe shifts how his bench is managed, and if it does force reliance on something like that Pecharunt EX. So here we go here, Absol coming down. I wonder if there's a bit of a lack here, is considering going back into the deck. There is the Turbo Energize, it does have Mist Energy. You would obviously prefer to put your Mist Energy on the Absol, but maybe a little bit of fear driving Ryuki's decisions. Wants to just make sure he does not miss an energy. Otherwise, this will be a huge setback in his setup.
I mean, this is basically what he wanted to do on the first game as well. The only problem that he had was after his initial supporter, he could not find the boss's orders. He could not get that first attack into the Mega Absol on the other side of the board. And it looks like he has a much better chance this time around, as not only does he see 8 cards, but he thins 2 Dark Energies out, and he'll just be an energy and a boss away from getting there.
8 cards thanks to Ryuki being at 8 cards thanks to being at 6 prize cards. So I'll get those numbers right one day. Does find a couple supporter cards.
There's no energy in that hand.
No energy in that hand, so looks like it was a smart decision to do so. And who needs Precious Trolley? Just find all your basic Pokemon right off that draw. Key point to note, though, did not find the boss's orders there off those 8 cards.
Yeah, and also with the Mist Energy as the attachment, energy switch onto the Mega Absol by way of Pecharunt, no longer a way to get that 3rd energy. So we'll have to find an actual copy of a net energy to help out.
Tord will have his 2nd turn begin right now. Top deck Trolley, hello.
Pink card.
Throwing it down on the table, nice and playfully.
Ryuki gives him a little clap, and
we're having high stakes, but we're having fun at the end of the day.
That's right. You know, it's just Tord Reklev 1-0 on the other side of the table. Give him a free trolley.
Like this guy needs that assistance, man. Come on. So we will see Trolley. And what the lineup here, the starting 5 will be for Tord. Latias, Kangaskhan seem like pretty solid inclusions. Could preemptively put Pheasantipede. We saw Monkey Dory was really not shining at all in that match before. You know, I kind of wonder if you need to put down more than 1 in this situation.
Yeah, the threat of 1 really helps a lot because then any damage left on board just means energy switching, terminal period, can clear Pokemon out that you're not expecting to fall. But you do need to at least have 1 of those threats. And I think the problem for Tord last game was just, obviously the setup wasn't great, but no Turbo Energize. He couldn't accelerate energies if he wanted to, and you don't have time to attach energy to Monkey Dory when you need to get aggressive with this Mega Absol.
So just debating, making sure everything is correct, and it will be Pecharunt, Monkey Dory, Latias, EX, and Mega Kangaskhan. The 4 cards of choice, and now with that combination of Latias and Pecharunt, it means this Kangaskhan can always come up and draw a couple cards before going into Absol if it does want to attack.
Which is always nice. We know that Tord loves his resources, wants to see as many cards as possible, but this is also something that Ryuki was considering. He knows this deck was going to get popular, and he added a copy of Xerosic's Machinations to his list, just in case Tord gets a little too greedy and fills that hand up.
So interestingly enough, going to use this Mega Kangaskhan to start things off. Does have an Arven in hand, so with the bench now being full thanks to Precious Trolley, this Arven can guarantee a TM or Energize by grabbing that Earthen Vessel and grabbing the Energize itself. I do wonder now, after using that Latias to free retreat, if the energy attachment for turn will go onto this Kangaskhan.
Yeah, it's I mean, thinking about your other options to promote, I don't love any of them. I think that the Kangaskhan energy attachment is not what you want to do, but the fact that you accelerate 2 energies with the turbo and then can just penny this Pokemon later on means that you're not going to lose out on too much else.
Yeah, if you have the penny, then it's honestly okay. You lose the energy drop essentially for the turn, but sometimes the Monkey Dory getting knocked out does line up pretty nicely into the prize trade, right? 1 plus the 3 for Mega Absol, and then the 2 KO on Latias. So yeah. I could see arguments both ways. As long as that Energize is being used at the end of the day, energies on Absol means something's going right.
And we could see Tord lean on the hit points of his Pokemon now because he has access to 2 of those Pokegear in hand.
Wow.
And this is aggressive.
We are going energy on each monkey in this spot without a doubt. And now this puts the pressure on Ryuki. He cannot safely swing in with the Claw of Darkness into this active. I have to say here, Kyle, I really like this line gear from Tord.
Yeah, it makes your opponent have to have an answer at this stage. And if you choose to ignore this, an energy just means that he's going to start taking apart your hand.
And that poison damage as well ticking up, meaning Pheasantipede not safe the following turn. The Adrenabrain can just move damage counters off. And now all of a sudden here for Ryuki, board's looking a little bit weird. We've only got 2 energy on this Mega Absol. Monkey Dory is not being threatened, which means we're not threatening Terminal Period as well. And I have to say, Tord having that top deck of the Precious Trolley allowed him to take what is a very aggressive route this turn.
For Ryuki, thankfully does have that Earthen Vessel this time around. It's hard to find the energy when he looked for the cards with the Lily's Determination, but has those. Other piece missing if you wanted to find a way around this Mega Absol would be the boss's orders, but he's going to have the Arven this time. Maybe he can play a little bit of catch up.
Yeah, looks like Technical Machine Turbo Energize, the potential tool of choice. Bravery Charm has not been used yet. Could always protect something like the Pecharunt from being KO'd from boss's orders next turn. It is going to be Nest Ball. Shuffling the deck up, so potentially waiting to play that. If this Pheasantipede had a Dark Energy, I could definitely see grabbing Latias as a potential option to preserve that later for Energy Switch. But the Mist Energy is never going to do anything on this Pheasantipede. Retreating it off, honestly, pretty okay. There's not really a lot of downside to that.
I think we might just see a mirror play here. The Pecharunt could bring the Absol up to the active, the Turbo Energize is there, and Nestball could find Monkey Dory. He could just set up the exact same situation, except Ryuki has Xerosic's Machinations and Mega Absol as follow-up. He can just destroy a hand afterwards.
Okay, looks like we're just going in with the 1 Monkey Dory, but as long as you've got 1 set up on your previous turn, you know what? We don't need Monkey Dory. That card is terrible anyways. We're going 2 energy onto this here.
He wants to calm down, rightfully so. It's like, I got excited.
Kangaskhan's getting in there.
Yep.
I already know what's coming. Now he's in the tank. He's thinking to himself.
I mean, you didn't answer Mega Absol. You still don't have the answer. It has to be Monkey Dory.
Yeah.
That makes the most sense.
Yeah, otherwise you can just... I mean, it's not confident, right? Energy Switch does exist, but you'd feel a little bit better about swinging into this with, you know, Claw of Darkness instead.
Right.
So here we go. Action on Tord. Look at those energies in hand. He's got more than he can count at this point. Will we just see this Absol swing in? If there is a boss's orders, that would also incentivize potential play on Tord's side. Is going to be able to use this cool combination, Latias to retreat, using the Mega Kangaskhan's run errand ability to draw 2 from the top of the deck, and finds 2 Pokegear. I've got to imagine Boss here would be an excellent find for Tord to put the tempo in his favor.
Yeah, he found Penny. He's had the Pokegears. He's been holding these since the last turn, but he's going to add even more supporters to his arsenal now. And he's not threatened by the other side. This is exactly what he's got going on. The unfortunate part is, if he wants to ever take prize cards, he's going to need to see the bosses and pull up those prize cards because it's not looking pretty.
Yeah, somebody has decided to not show up to work today. Unfortunate, you know, the boss has got to take a day off every now and then. It's going to be right now, though, in top 4.
In top 4? Yeah, come on.
That's like not showing up to work on Christmas. That doesn't work out, does it?
Oh, we'll see if anybody's there.
Do you believe in miracles? Do you believe in a little bit of Tord magic? I think that might be the 6th card here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was close. It's not a boss, and it's not the 6th card.
I don't think that counts as close.
It's all a matter of perspective, and you know, Iono could add disruption, which means drawing it to boss for later. So it's all about how you think about it.
I like it.
So
I don't think Tord likes it.
I would say I'm not an expert in reading body language, but it doesn't seem like the body language is someone who's very content with their options now, which then leads it down the rabbit hole, right? You got to follow the pipeline in the Pokemon TCG. If Plan A doesn't work, what's Plan B? If Plan B doesn't work, what's Plan C? Are we on Plan C at this point, or is Plan A sort of now just getting into the second Plan B?
We're on Plan C, and Plan C might just be passing with a weird Pokemon in the active, because I don't think you want to attack in this spot. You don't want to be the instigator when there's already Munkidori in play, and you have no way to clear off anything on this board.
I wonder if you could promote the Absol again with Poison. That way it ticks to 4 going back into your turn. Ryuki's Absol is going to go to 2 on their turn, which then means if there's 6 counters in play, you can manipulate that since you have the monkey advantage to be able to terminal period next turn.
Yeah, it would be one short on Ryuki's side of being able to capitalize and use terminal period. So if there were ever a turn to do it, it'd be right here. But afterwards, it does get tricky, as you're mentioning.
So it will be a Lily for 8. Both players playing very passive, not wanting to take prize cards. We have not seen an energy drop yet for this turn for Tord. So depending on where he wants to put this here, it could start to power up the Kangaskhan. It does find the Earthen Vessel.
What
The
energy?
is full.
He's got the Vessel, yeah. But I mean, where do you want to go with it from here?
Is it just better to have it on a big Pokemon like Kangaskhan so it's essentially a safe target to energy switch off later?
Yeah, there is just the one copy, but knowing where that energy is, or being able to even threaten the Kangaskhan as a attacker at some point, pushing energy off of a Munkidori and going for that big swing KO that isn't expected. It's always a decent threat.
So does end up grabbing the fighting energy. I wonder if he's going to decide to place that on the Kangaskhan since it's better there if you kind of have a meaningless energy drop, and that will be the case. Goes onto the Kangaskhan, and now the last choice here for Tord. Do you bring up Mega Absol? No, it's just going to be a pass of the turn. And Ryuki finds the boss's orders off the top of the deck. That's the perfect card here if he wants to try and be the first one to swing into Mega Absol or target down one of these Pokemon on the bench to take the first prize.
Yeah, considerations now, since the poison damage didn't tick up like you said, Ryuki doesn't have to worry about the terminal period coming back to get him with his poison damage. So boss's orders, even with the poison ticking away, is fine. You can target Munkidori, clear this Pokemon, and still take a free card out of the hand. I think this is a safe line.
Yeah, this is exactly what you want here for Ryuki. You know this Absol is going to be safe, and you are more than okay to put it in harm's way if it means you're taking the first prize. Now routing very nicely. 1 prize on Munkidori, 3 prize on a Mega Pokemon EX, and 2 prizes on either the Pecharunt or the Latias. Plus, like you mentioned, Kyle, stripping a valuable resource away from Tord in a spot where he's already going to be looking for some ways to come back in this position.
Yeah, he's been looking for some help. Oh, man, and there was a boss's orders. I don't know if Ryuki knows how important that is, but you have to think when your opponent uses double Pokegear, searching for an answer, and then lilies at the very end of it, maybe the boss is a pretty key resource.
Other honorable mentions include energy that was found off Earthen Vessel. Is considering maybe getting rid of a Stretcher or Nest Ball. I mean, Nest Ball is strong. Tord is sitting on a really large hand, and I feel like you've got to assume he's got at least one way to search a Pokemon out. There's got to be more value in that boss penny or energy, I feel like.
Either Ryuki is not considering his own prize map with this decision, or he's just thinking about the resources, because he's just really worried about another Munkidori coming down. He does not want access to a double push terminal period on the other side of the board, and Tord still has access to that regardless.
Kangaskhan comes up into the active spot. Card drawn for turn as Ryuki does strike first in game number 2. Tord got to keep a lot of those powerful supporters. Now a plethora of choices here. Arven, Penny, boss's orders. Now, no Pokemon is currently in threat of being KO'd in the active spot. Tord's got to figure out if he can maybe take a different approach, go after these tag team Pokemon potentially, but it's so scary when your opponent already has a Munkidori with a Dark Energy, and even if they don't, Energy Switch can make that come out of nowhere with there being damage on their board.
I mean, yeah, these megas, they're huge, and you're typically not going to work your way through them by way of just attacking through multiple times. It's going to have to be the terminal period or working around them, unless you feel like you can get lucky with the Kangaskhan rolls. And for Tord, I mean, he's got everything he needs. The energy's there, the boss's orders. If you want to target down the Munkidori, you can take that off the board and once more threaten that you will be the person pushing for terminal period.
Serendipity making its entrance onto the battlefield. Flip the Script is active thanks to Pokemon being KO'd on the previous turn. We'll see 3 cards drawn. Yet to use that Run Errand ability on the Mega Kangaskhan does find the Mist Energy, and that could be the piece that allows Tord to feel somewhat confident to go in and attack, especially with something like the boss's orders as well.
Yeah, that's a really nice find, and it isn't always the answer, but when you're playing against Ryuki in Game 2 and his prize cards look like this, you know that you'll be okay this time around.
Yeah, and Tord doesn't know that the Enhanced Hammer is prize. That's a huge piece here. That shuts off Ryuki for having any one-hit KO answer to this. Now, if Tord knew that was the case, he would not be playing his cards down any faster than, you know, he is in turbo speed. If you've ever seen Tord play in turbo speed. But because he's unaware of this information, he's still got to be feeling a little bit weary here and maybe considering if Iono is a better choice as a supporter. Going to use the Arven for now, though. Grabs the Bravery Charm, grabs the Counter Catcher, and that means we're going to be seeing this take a knockout onto one of the bench Pokemon. Which Pokemon, though? That is the question.
If you want to go for Fez, you can at this stage. You have damage counters on your side of the board. You can just move one of them over with the Munkidori, save another counter if you want to target something else down the line. And 200 damage is 200. This is a nice find, and maybe you remove a card that either gets access to a Night Stretcher or a big supporter.
Claw of Darkness for Tord Reklev, taking the prize lead, going down to just 4 prize cards remaining. And it will be another tough choice of what resources to get rid of with Claw of Darkness. It looks like a couple of Arven in the hand. Oh, the Zerosic you see him putting out. What's that doing here, man?
I told you to take this out of your list. What are you doing?
Zerosic, Arven, Penny, those seem like the 3 choices to think about. Going through the discard pile, going through the hand. Trying to see what resources could get stripped on his end. It's sort of this back and forth where you take from me, I take from you, and at the end of the day, we're both poor.
How much can Ryuki really read into the situation as Tord shuffles around his hand, looking at your hand to discard a card? It's a lot going on, and he says, you know what, I think I'd rather keep my 8.
The Zerosic will be discarded. Mega Kangaskhan comes into the active spot.
Counter Catcher found.
Counter Catcher is active now. Oh! We got a storm. Ground yourself, Pokemon. You can't leave us yet.
You thought Energy Switch was cool.
Watch this.
Check this one out.
I think we're all resolved here. No cards were flipped over from the top of the deck. I think we're all okay.
Yeah, the last time I saw a Munkidori spin like that, I was a sad lad.
Return to sender, buddy. So now if you're Ryuki, is this the start of Boss's Orders mind games where you could slowly build up enough poison damage in play? This is just getting so strange here.
All right, energy is available now with the Earthen Vessel, so can go a little further, has attacks ready with the Mega Kangaskhan or the Mega Absol.
Yeah, there is a guaranteed KO with the Kangaskhan if Ryuki wants to try and preserve the Mega Absol down the line.
Yeah, target Fez and remove those 2 prizes. Although every time that Ryuki just copies what Tord does, he's a step behind. It's weird how that works.
Yeah, I was going to say, weird how the logic in that works. Arvid actually the choice of the supporter for turn. Instantly, the Bravery Charm gets pipped up from the deck. Wondering what that other piece is. We saw he already has the Counter Catcher in hand. Is there a lack of energy cards? Is preemptively grabbing the Energy Switch a viable option? Many choices here for Ryuki. And it is going to be the Pokegear 3.0. So maybe looking to find boss, just like Tord did on that previous turn, to follow up on the next one.
Yeah, and it's not as valuable a resource when you're looking at a Mega Absol on the other side of the board. It could be anything. It could be any supporter in your deck. And having that discarded doesn't mean that you don't have access to that card later on. Mega Kangaskhan could easily draw right back into that resource for you. He's going to protect the hit points. Ryuki knows that Monkey Dory is no longer an important piece of the puzzle here. He's going to take the 10 damage and throw that to the other side and take this knockout. And he's threatening with a lot of hit points on his side of the board now.
Yeah, and importantly, now down to just 3 prize cards left. So if Mega Absol gets KO'd, that's just the game. The game is over at this spot. Tord Reklev still at 4 prize cards, has to take 2 knockouts as we look at an absolutely massive hand here for Tord. Already has a boss's orders gone. Actually, the counter catcher was played the previous turn, correct? So no boss's orders played yet. There is still the 1 boss in the prizes, the 2 boss's orders in the hand. So while you are leaving your opponent with the boss's orders, you're not disregarding that as a play for them. Is it still just worth chipping away at that resource, or would you rather go after, I guess the only other realistic option is that darkness energy?
Yeah, that's the only thing that I see right here is it's a boss or an energy. The rest of the pieces don't seem nearly as important. You're going to play around most of those other resources, and all the Pokemon seem fairly useless at this stage of the game, unless Ryuki just doesn't think he'll be able to find enough bosses, in which case you can go after Monkey Dory pieces.
Will be the darkness energy discarded from the Claw of Darkness. Now Tord sitting on a large hand. It does contain a lot of pieces that will not have a super strong effect, like those Pokemon that are already in play. But Mega Kangaskhan can come to the active spot. Boss's orders is available. And while Tord cannot win this game in 2 turns as it stands, he can definitely put himself in a position to win in 3. However, Ryuki feels like he's in the driver's seat with how this board is built up and how he's ahead in the prize trade at this spot on just 3 prize cards remaining. He could just afford now to maybe start swinging into Mega Absol from this spot.
Yeah, it's been really clean from Ryuki. He has not had to surrender very many of his resources to get to this stage of the game. If you look through, it is just the 1 copy of Boss's orders here. He's not holding one in the hand, so no risk from the Mega Absol, yet he still threatens it. Why? He has access to his Mega Kangaskhan to draw more resources. He could find access to the Pheasantipity to see even more cards, and at some point he will find bosses and stay just 1 step ahead of Tord.
Run Errand used yet again. Does find Night Stretcher from those 2 cards. We did see the Dark Energy discarded. We do also see the Monkey Dory in the hand. Will be the Dark Energy coming back? Is there an opportunity where another monkey is established? It looks like it will be the case. And Boss's orders on the other Monkey Dory, trying to deny Terminal Period as an option at the end of the game where it can be the most impactful.
And list knowledge becomes pretty important at this stage of the game. Ryuki is running out of energies here. That is Dark Energy number 6 as you look at the board, and that is all of them as this Pokemon's knocked out. If there were decisions to be made with Night Stretchers, they all have to go towards energy at this stage of the game.
So is there an opportunity where Penny could be the MVP down the line? Tord essentially is evening things up, but Ryuki has got the same board as Tord, just energies in a little bit of different places. No Monkey Dory down in play, but there's still those 6 energy in play. The Absol's powered up, the Kangaskhan is raring to go. So we'll see the hand here from Ryuki. It is a couple Penny and Pokegear. Latias an option as well as Nest Ball. And all of these options do seem decent. I'm not sure about Penny in this spot, but the Nest Ball finds Fez. The Gear finds a supporter. What are you choosing here? It seems pretty difficult.
I mean, the easy answer is clearing the Petron with a Pokegear boss is the scariest thing. I would remove that card from play. Don't give your opponent a way to go down to 1 prize card remaining to clear off one of these 2 Monkey Dory that can't be double pennied away in the next few turns. And Ryuki is going to try to find that answer right here, right now. Mega Kangaskhan and his draw for the turn. He's not even looking yet. Okay. I like this.
Full confidence. We're going to open this up like a booster pack here.
And
Oh.
secret rare?
No secret rare. Does have Nest Ball in hand still, so we can grab Pheasantipity EX if it's in the deck.
And he's still safe to do plays like this. He can rebench the Monkey Dory. Any Night Stretcher leads to the energy to push the 10 damage counters, the 10 damage away to clear off a different Pokemon like that Latios if he values that instead.
Looks like the Pheasantipity is actually in the discard pile, so Nest Ball really not going to get a huge amount of impact. No boss's orders, so smart choice there, paying off from Tord potentially. So the Nest Ball will still be played. And now what do you find here for Ryuki? You've got Yveltal, it's the top card, but there's no realistic way you can successfully trap in this matchup. You've got the Pecharunt, you've got pennies, you've got all sorts of ways to get out of trapping shenanigans.
Doesn't seem like there's enough damage to move over and try to take a risky flip line at any point. Running right into the terminal period would be pretty treacherous. Penny to pick up energies at some point may be a viable option. You could bring those back up, start attaching either to Pokemon like this Yveltal or the Pecharunt as the prize cards start to get a little steeper.
And we do have an update from out in the field. Liam Halliburton has beaten Henry Chow and is going into the finals here. 2-0 in that set with with Zoroark, EX, and Zoroark at that. So now either of these players, if they have information about this, they're going to be feeling even more confident because that matchup is extremely solid. It's going to actually just be the pass over here, preserving these Pokemon. And hold on a second. Tord is in a potential position, if he can find boss's orders this turn, to bring up Pecharunt EX and maybe flip heads on a Kangaskhan. If you can remove that Pokemon, your opponent can't take both one prize Pokemon out of play at the same turn. It is something you've got to think about.
Why don't you just go after the Mega Absol and flip like 8 heads? Just win.
Is 1 greater than 8? I didn't think so, buddy.
He's Tord, okay?
He is Tord. He does have plot armor. You've got to add that in when you're doing your calculations. So right now, Bravery Charm pushing this up. He's thinking about it.
I think he's thinking about drawing 2 cards, and then we'll figure out the rest from there.
One step at a time, one small leap.
Considerations here for how you use Pecharunt. Can you afford to include this as the damage counters start to tick up? He'll have 2 on his Mega Absol. There will be 3 in play on the other side. He's still safe from terminal period. Therefore, let's see 2 cards.
Fighting Energy Penny from the top of the deck. And so now for Tord, he's got to wonder what potential plays exist down the line if Penny is the choice of supporter next turn for Ryuki. Is there a viable way that Tord can get through one of these 3 prize Pokemon before Ryuki can just take a 2-hit KO onto one of these Mega Pokemon? And I honestly am not sure. This game could just come down to if Ryuki can penny up this Pecharunt EX.
Yeah, I think the prize card now signifies that he's thinking very similarly, and he might just try to remove a resource like that from the hand as opposed to forcing Ryuki to play that card or taking a risk with a coin flip.
You're actually going to penny up the Mega Kangaskhan.
Oh.
And puts down the Blood Moon Ursaluna. So that is a consistent way to be able to take a 1-hit knockout next turn on Pecharunt. So now really relying on Penny to save Ryuki from the spot. You've always got to remember, though, if you're playing Penny, you're not disrupting the hand and you're not gusting.
That's true, and here's the news.
Oh, as a pass, we're going back and forth.
Oh, wow. I mean, he would have seen that Ryuki has multiple Penny, and that this game is just going to get even more wild as we move forward.
And now we have entered a pseudo stalemate in this spot. Both players do not want to hit into another Pokemon because it will spell disaster and doom from terminal period. So the question now becomes, how can one of these players either break the stalemate or who cracks first?
doesn't seem like a great call to attack into this Pokemon ever.
Kangaskhan will be retreated into.
Boss's orders, that changes some things. There's no energy, however, for the Munkidori. This would be a knockout onto just the Pecharunt at this stage. You could go down to 1 prize remaining.
Question, though, here is how many boss's orders is that for Ryuki?
That'd be number 2. I think we've only seen 1 other. There have been none discarded.
That's Tord. That's Ryuki. Thank you, team backstage. I like being able to see the numbers. So 1 for each player.
You could have just believed me.
You know, that's hard sometimes, Kyle.
Fair.
I feel like you've got to. You have to assume at some point, and maybe you feel a little bit better about it with the mist energy, that, you know, you've got a solid advantage here if you play the boss and swing, because you're still technically in the same stalemate with your opponent.
Yeah, I think this is great from Ryuki. He knows that there's no way to move this mist energy. He can take a knockout, whether it be 1 prize or 2, and he values removing the Munkidori at this stage of the game, and I can't fault him for it. You get a free card out of the hand from Tord. You've seen so many resources from him already. Hit points, buff him up.
Lively Stadium, it's getting hype. As the Pecharunt subjugating chains brings Mega Absol to the active spot. We're going to see a Claw of Darkness. Take a look at the hand, and one of those boss's orders are going to go to the discard pile here, Kyle. That will leave Tord with just 1 more gusting option outside of a counter catcher, which can be played this turn, since Ryuki will take the prize lead.
He doesn't know which way to go about it here. If you think you're going to close out the game this very next turn, then you limit options instead. He's going to take away the resource, however, and that means that he knows that drawing into Iono, dropping this hand low, and maybe not seeing a Dark Energy on the other side could be a disaster for Ryuki.
It may come down to just Ryuki having boss's orders. If Tord does have that Ionos, you are protected by that mist energy from the terminal period. Ryuki Okada still has that enhanced hammer in those top 2 prize cards. Tord does not know that, but there is actually no way for Ryuki to find it here.
And the other cards in Iono too, if you ever were to find any cards to help out. I mean, clearly the boss is the big one here. But for Tord, hand disruption seems pretty important.
Yeah, you can combine that with the Claw of Darkness as well.
And this is a situation where Ryuki cannot play around this. He has been thankful to not always have the boss's orders in hand in these situations, but now you could draw into this resource by way of Iono and not have a choice. It will go straight to the discard pile.
So just looking through the discard, seeing what options are available. That is boss number 2, and with there now being 2 boss's orders down for Tord, he has to swing into this Mega Absol. If he does not, it feels like the doors just start to shut. And Ryuki's going to build up enough damage after this turn to be able to use 2 Munkidori and start to apply some pressure with boss's orders plus terminal period.
The problem is you walk right into Penny in that spot, and if that Pokemon's pushed up, Mega Kangaskhan is a very similar threat to the Absol at this point of the game.
So either Penny or Boss would both be good draws here for Ryuki. You're going to be able to take a card out of the hand is the biggest thing. So the Absol comes back up active. It is currently poisoned. And the big thing to note, Tord without having that mist energy may just be looking to buy time to build up damage to then target the Kangaskhan down instead. I have to wonder here for Tord, this game plan, how many turns is it stretched over? Are you trying to survive until that happens? It may be the exact case by picking up these Pokemon slowly but surely off the bench.
Yeah, just removing the 2 prize options. He can take 1 off now, remove the 2nd later, keep the Blood Moon around, but even now, just with the Lively Stadium, you still get to hang around for a little bit unless Dark Energy is found for the Munkidori.
And here we go. It looks like this is the time and opportunity. We're going to see the attack here from the Absol, but Ryuki is sitting on double Penny in hand. He's got the answer here if he wants to pick this Pokemon up.
Yep, he's been holding these resources, waiting for a situation, and here it is. But does he even want to attack in? He will see, and he's got the bad news of double penny waiting for him. There is a free retreat option in that Latios as well if you need to ever go for an additional roll. But there are some big draws waiting for Ryuki on the other side of this turn. If he can find a boss's orders here, he can make this close out with a dark energy too. I guess he needs the help because of the lively.
It is another Arven for the draw for turn. So is there ever a world where you retreat first before playing the penny? You would discard those energies, but
and then
you would allow yourself to still be able to Pecharunt into whatever into like a Yveltal, for example, instead.
Well, yeah, you could find perfect answer of energy or Night Stretcher in combination with boss, and you just win the game outright with the Mega Kangaskhan.
Even just with the
But if you miss, then you just penny.
Absol. Exactly. You really don't need all of these energies. It looks like we're going to use the order incorrect, or not incorrectly, but differently. It seems that we've committed to attacking with Kangaskhan this turn. If we find boss's orders here, the game is over for Ryuki. Does he find it? Does not.
He countered the stadium, but he doesn't have the boss's orders, so he can't knock out the Pecharunt there. He has all the other supporters to go along with this, but he has the Watchtower of all cards.
And does get to preserve that mist energy again, so can reattach the mist to this Kangaskhan and actually protect that from a terminal period if he wants to swing in here. Yeah, I feel like you've got to put that mist energy down. It's your only lose condition. Thinking about actually not doing that, are we just going to wait to use boss's orders to win this game? That may just be his option here.
I mean, he's holding on to the counter stadium right now. Does he even want to play that card down? Because
thinking about the Watchtower, it would shut off his own run errand.
Shuts off
but it would
your
also
opponents.
get discarded, you know, with something like the terminal, or excuse me, the Claw of Darkness as well.
Forces your opponent to have the penny right here for the Pecharunt. If Tord has that resource, then he has to pick and choose, though.
It's just a pass of the turn over.
Oh, he's just going for it. Let's go. Oh,
wow.
Oh, no, he missed. He's going to only deal 200.
In mist. There's no mist energy on this active as long as Tord has a penny.
Dark,
the game is
there.
over. He can terminal period this active, and Tord Reklev in a back-and-forth game 2 squeaks these out and is going to the finals.
Oh, what a big risk from Ryuki. He had the energy too. He picked up the mist energy and chose to play the dark on the Monkey Dory. Wow, what a epic game here. Tord Reklev makes his way to the finals once again.